how is the economy doing? It's still anemic. What does that mean for us? Interest rates are at record lows, while inflation still relatively benign. So is this the new normal? Do we have to get used to this for the foreseeable future? And how do we actually get over into better times indeed? Well, I'm pleased to say that joining us on the panel this afternoon, three very distinguished guests, they paid me to say that, going to provide a unique insight for you this afternoon. And of course, we will be looking ahead to tomorrow's budget and providing, hopefully, for you some hints and suggestions on what George Osborne is likely to achieve.
Well, there was if you bought The Economist this week, on the front page was a picture of George Osborne in a British Mini with a Union Jack on it, but there were no wheels on the Mini, and the car was actually on bricks, and he's steering around happily, going nowhere, because we are going nowhere as far as the economy is concerned. There's no growth, and he can steer as much as he likes, but it's not going to make any difference. The problem is that we are all being overtaxed with VAT, corporation tax, income tax. I built two businesses. I know I don't do great speeches, but I built two businesses offering value for money. The taxpayer is not getting value for money at the moment. The private sector is overblown. We're paying for that. That has to be cut right the way down, and that money has to be used to cut corporation tax, VAT, income tax, and that will get the economy going.
Yeah, I want to talk about tax in a little bit more detail with all of you, but Anthony, let me speak to you firstly. You were telling me earlier your 57th budget that you'll be covering, you think, as a financial journalist?
Yeah, 57 budgets. I'm rather hoping that Warren Buffett would buy me, actually, as he bought Heinz.
Okay, let's look at tomorrow, because there is an expectation that the UK growth for this year will be downgraded from 1.2% to 1%. I mean, what does that actually mean in real terms?
Not a lot. I mean, why does anybody ever believe the growth figures? I mean, the one thing you know about the growth figures is that they're wrong, always. And in any particular economy, there are bits that are growing at 10%, there are bits that are declining at 10%. And, it's the flaw of averages, that the sort of 0 or 1% growth that we talk about actually only applies, or it's rather like saying you've got 1.7 children. Nobody's got 1.7 children. Nobody is actually average. So what you need to look at are the bits of the economy that are growing and the bits that are in decline. Now, the decline is obviously the banks, and it's the oil, which is down 40%, and construction. But on the other side, SMEs, middle-sized businesses are actually growing pretty fast. And that explains why employment is higher than it's ever been. We're actually employing more people in this country than we have ever done in our history. So it just depends which measure you use. And we obsess with growth figures, ignoring the fact that they are proven over the years always to be inaccurate.
Martin, is it solid out there? What are you hearing within the company for Bird's Eye? Are they pleased with what's happening? Not to mention the horse meat scandal, of course, because we won't go there.
Well, I think my company is 2/3 continental Europe, so I can take a European view, and I absolutely agree with Anthony. If you look at the UK, the most remarkable thing about it is the employment or unemployment statistics. If you compare it to, say, Spain with 20% unemployment, even high unemployment in Germany, although the German economy is very sound. So what I'm suspecting is there's probably better news really underlying than it looks. I think what you're getting is seemingly a large amount of growth in exports, which there could be more, and a rebalancing of the economy from being over-reliant on the financial sector, which I think is a big problem as a manufacturing guy I don't like, albeit I'm owned by a private equity company, so that's all part of it. But so you're just seeing the company, the country's got two challenges. It's facing, as in the rest of Europe, a big debt mountain which it's got to pay down, and it's trying to restructure itself from being less reliant on certain sectors, particularly financial, and that just takes time to rebalance. So I think it is going to be sticky for a few years.
Well, let me ask you, 50% of your business, Gerald Online, operates out of India. You're employing people in India. Why are you not doing that here? What was the incentive about heading over there and setting up the business that side?
Well, we do have Gerald Online does operate in Britain. It's actually Britain's largest online jewellers. But the reason that we went to India is because I sit down sometimes with other entrepreneurs, with startups, and everybody you talk to, this goes a little bit against what everybody's saying about how well they're doing. They are doing better abroad for the reasons that I've just given. We are ex-growth here. The economy in India is growing at the rate of knots. In China, it's still growing at an enormous rate. We are going to markets where there's growth.
Every company I know has got some contingency plan in the event of the euro breaking up or Germany pulling out of the euro. Well, the contingency plan would be everyone would be in the same place. So actually, people still want to buy things. People still want to eat. So the issue we've got right at the moment is should we balance more production towards southern Europe than from Germany, for example. But you can't do much, but everyone will be in the same situation.
Why we worry about Cyprus is beyond me. I mean, Cyprus is like Scotland with better weather, you know, it's of no consequence at all in terms of the wider economy. And, you know, Europe breakup, well, so what? You know, 70 currency unions have broken up since the Second World War. And I mean, how many of us noticed? You know, so why are we so wound up about this one?
The difference between a recession and a boom is in boom times, you've got 2/3 of everybody doing well, and in a recession, you've still got 1/3 of everybody doing well. That's plenty of people doing well, and there's still 360,000 millionaires out there. So even though the newspapers keep going on about how bad things are, in reality, you can still make a fortune. I mean,
Size is certainly no protector. So if you just look at the FTSE 100 30 years ago, you'd be amazed at the number of companies that have dropped out. They've either been, you know, gone out of business or been forced to merge. So I think what companies have to do is obviously stay very close to the people to whom they sell. So that's marketing, understand consumers well. But also don't be afraid to attack your own business. And one of the best analogies I say is I mean, you probably don't remember, you look too young, but I used to put TDK cassettes into my car. And the TDK cassette company was the most efficient cassette company in the world, and actually had the patent on the CD. But the CDs cost them more to make, and they didn't want to, what they call, cannibalize their own business. And what happened to TDK? It went out of business, and the world went to CDs, and then the world has moved on to virtual. So don't be afraid to attack your own cost base. It's what the online retailer, it's what the food retailers are seeing now. Online deliveries are much less profitable, but they've got to do it, and the ones that aren't are losing share.
We've run out of time, but gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you've all found that really interesting. Even if you'd like to carry on asking questions, please do so, #PASpeaker, and grab them, they're going to be around for a wee while, so thank you very much. Gerald, Martin, Tony, thank you.